My name is Nicholas Deem. I'm a Central Asian Studies student in the Hamilton-Lugar School of International Studies. I'm currently in the Indiana Air National Guard for my career. I've been there for 6 years now, and I plan on staying there. I decided to switch to Central Asian Studies here at IU, mostly because I really want to learn the Finnish language. I sat down on my computer, I Googled it, not a whole lot of tutors in my area teaching Finnish, and honestly, there's not a whole lot of universities that teach Finnish. And when I looked it up, I saw that it was part of the CEUS department. Central Asian Studies, oh, that's like area studies of very unique countries and languages. And I knew it was me right away. And I had to dive in, and I applied and got accepted as a transfer student, and now here I am. The types of courses I took in the CEUS department are primarily language, and then moving on from there, there's a lot of exploratory classes. I'm studying Finland, so I took the intro course for Finland, Hungary, and Estonia to kind of learn about their peoples and their backgrounds and their histories. But as well, I have taken many different Central Asian classes as well. Central Asia and Soviet times being one of them this semester I've taken. But I'm also learning about these other unique and great societies and peoples. And it's just totally fascinating, all the different opportunities to learn about here. So my view on the usefulness of a CEUS degree, I see it as very valuable if you're interested in foreign policy. If you're interested in federal positions, absolutely this is the career for you. Even for me being in cybersecurity, I've learned a foreign language. So now if I ever find myself in a position where I want to partner with my foreign country of choice, which I picked Finland, but it could be any country. I could have learned Persian, in which case that'd be great for Iranian cybersecurity threats. You want to know that language. You want to have these languages in any career that's going to be dealing with any kind of threats and or diplomacy. However you look at it, whether you want to look at the pros of being friendly with nations or you want to look at the cons of being hostile, foreign languages can really multiply your usefulness in any kind of diplomatic or economic role. As a senior in CEUS, I'm currently working on my capstone paper, which incorporates all of the research methods that I've been taught throughout my academic career here at IU, as well as utilizing my Finnish language skills that I have picked up. My research is focused on Finnish Cold War diplomacy because I had the question of why aren't they in NATO? Why aren't they in it today? Why didn't they join it 2 decades ago? And to answer this, I had to go back to their history. In World War II, they were a democratic capitalist country, so I had naturally and naively assumed they were part of the Allies, but in fact they were not. They were actually co-belligerent in the war against the Soviet Union, and that played into their diplomacy today. And once I learned about that, and I learned about how in the Cold War era, they negotiated with the Soviet Union from a position of weakness because they were defeated by the Soviet army, and they, instead of becoming a Soviet satellite state, they decided to leverage their diplomacy to create a treaty that allowed them to coexist with the Soviet Union based on economic ties and expense for their autonomy at home and their politics. And so learning on that, building on that, I've really learned that their presidents, Paasikivi and Kekkonen, were phenomenal at playing diplomatic roles. And we can see that as in the end of the Cold War, and even today, there are many Helsinki meetings between East and West, between American presidents and Soviet presidents or premiers. And it's been a testament to their diplomatic skills, and that is what my paper is about. My research paper on Finland's neutrality position plays into today's news constantly. Every week there's a new article about Finland inching closer to NATO, potentially with Sweden joining as well. And to understand why this process is beginning now is fundamental to what my research paper is questioning. What we have seen, or what I have seen in my theory, is that Finland, who has always used a more logical approach to their relations with the Soviet Union as well as modern-day Russia, it was always based on logic and economic ties. Today, what we have seen with the events in Ukraine, that equation has been upended. What worked for Finland, saying we're going to have these economic ties, we're going to be friendly, we may not agree on everything, but we're going to coexist, they have now felt that it is in their interest to inch closer to NATO. I believe that they will eventually become a full member, however, that remains to be seen, but every week there's a new article about it and a lot of speculation, so I foresee him joining. My personal investment into the Hamilton-Lugar School of International Studies has been definitely worth it. I will be able to use my degree here and put it into my federal career that I want to get into. I want to try and get into hands-on diplomacy. It's a very competitive field. You're going to need to go to a very unique school for that, and HLS offers that for you. I'll be able to use this in my government career that I've been on and off again in the National Guard side. I'll be able to use this and potentially commission. I'll be able to use this and potentially get into diplomacy roles and intelligence roles. I have a lot of pathways ahead of me. I'm going to have to kind of figure that out on my own, but I would not have any of those options without HLS.